Hello, welcome back to Angela Shows You, my YouTube channel that is primarily based on crafting. Today's episode is going to be on how to make a holiday apron. So I am getting ready to enter into a craft show, and so I'm working on making up a bunch of holiday aprons that people love to get as gifts. So if you want to make an apron as a gift for someone, or perhaps just for yourself, if you're baking and doing up cookies and stuff, then this will be great to help keep your clothes clean. So what we are going to do, I've already cut this, but I'm going to go ahead and just show you the measurements that I've done already. So follow me down here to my cutting mat. All right, so what I've got here is a length of fabric. I used the whole 36 inches long, and then and you're gonna want to, so this is the folded edge, this is the raw edge. So on the raw edge, what you're gonna want to do is from the crease, you're gonna want to go over. This is 5.5 inches. So you're going to make a mark on the 5.5 inch mark, and then you're going to come down from the corner on this edge 9 inches. You're going to make a mark at the 9-inch line. Then what you're going to do is you're going to cut that out. That gives you your armpit area right here. Okay, so once that's cut out, what you're going to do is you're going to open it up. Now, I call these reversible aprons. I've actually chosen on this one to use a solid red as the backing or lining piece, and then I've got a printed piece for the front. But of course, you could do, two prints if you want. So I found this super cute fabric that I thought just kind of reminded me of baking. It's got cute little candy canes on it, and little Christmas cookies, and some ornaments, and some cinnamon sticks. So this is going to kind of be my front piece. This is going to be the piece that I'm going to want as my outer display piece. So what you're going to do, if you're using two printed pieces, I already also went ahead and I sewed a pocket on to this one. So if you're going to do a pocket, you're going to cut whatever size. Some people like, like long pockets. Some people like tall ones. So whatever your pocket is, and then you would just sew that on. And then your stitching, of course, would be hidden when on the finished project. So you're going, if both pieces are printed, you're going to want them right sides together. And you're just going to line them up. And I try to use my curve here as my guide, so to speak. All right, and then I want some pins in here, just to kind of hold us in place for now. Okay, so now the next step is going to be, you've got some neck straps and some side straps. So my two long ones are for the waist, and then these two are for the neck. So I did a video on making straps. So I've got my strap here, and I've got one end that's finished and one end that's raw. So I'm going to want the raw edge. The raw edge is going to go on the raw edge of the apron. So what we're going to do is we're going to sandwich that in between the two pieces of material. and I like to put my waist straps about 2.5 inches from the corner. So I'm gonna I use my markings on my cutting mat. So I'm just gonna put it down 2 squares from the top, and that's also about 3 finger widths down as well. So I like to leave a little bit of overlap here, just so that, you know, because it's going to get pulled on. So I like to just have it in a little bit. All right, and then we're going to pin that in place. And I'm going to put another pin just up in here too. Okay, so then we're going to do the same thing for the other waist strap. Tuck that in. Okay. Pin that where I want it. Just giving it a few pins to keep them in place. Now for the bib, we're going to, same thing. We want the raw edges at the top, and I put those in at about 1.5 inches from the corner. So I'm just going to use a ruler, and I'm going to find 1.5 inches. Wow, that was pretty good. All right, and then okay, so then our next step is going to be to bring the apron to our sewing machine. And we are going to sew all the way around. Of course, we need to leave a turning gap so that we can turn this right side out. So I like to start at the bottom. So what I'm going to do here, I've got the whole width of it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to start kind of at one end. I'm going to go all the way around, and I'll stop probably about 4 or 5 inches, from where I started here. That'll give me my turn in gap. So I am going to pause this while I sew. Okay, so now what I've done is I went all the way around the entire perimeter of the apron, and I sewed, got it all sewn together. So then, of course, you just want to make sure that you take all the pins out. Okay, so all the pins are out. So Then I also thought that I would just take a quick note that when I get to the straps, the neck straps and the waist straps, I do actually like to reinforce those. So what I do when I'm stitching is I'll stitch and then I go back the entire, I mean, it's not that, it's not that wide, but I stitch back the entire width of the strap, and then I go back again. So I've got 3 on there. Now I know that when we do our top stitch, it's gonna it's gonna have another stitch, but you got to figure when you're tying and untying, you're pulling on the strap, so they get a lot of use. You're pulling on the straps when you're tying it, so I really like to just give them reinforced stitching so that they don't fall apart. So then the next thing that you're going to want to do is you are going to want to snip your corners, being careful that you don't get too close. So what I should actually probably do here is just make sure that I am using the white side so that I can see my red thread. So I'm just going to snip each of the corners to reduce that bulk so that we get nice crisp corners when we turn this out. Okay, got all 6 of them there. So now we're just gonna go in from the bottom and we are going to turn this right side out. And we'll make sure that we use our finger and we push out our corners. And I will also like to mention that when I sewed this, I used a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Oops, I missed a pin. All right, there we go. So the last step that needs to be done to finish this is to top stitch. The top stitching will give it a nice finished look, and also, of course, you want to you want to close up that turning gap as well. So what you're going to do for that, for your turn gap, is you'll just take your fabric and you'll fold it in towards the center. If it's unruly, you can always give that a little bit of a press. I don't think I'm going to need to do that here. It's not acting too wacky. But there, we'll just so there, I've just clipped it and closed. Actually, let me give that corner a little bit more of a poke. So then the last step on this is just going to be to go ahead and top stitch all the way around again. You will close up that turning gap with your top stitch and just give the apron a nice finished look. So I hope that you will take advantage of making one of these aprons. I will leave the cutting dimensions in the comment or in the description box, and I hope that you will go ahead and make one of these. Let me know if you do. Let us know if you have any questions. I did do another apron tutorial previously, so that one's a little bit longer. This one was really kind of more just redoing, you know, the measurements a little bit and just kind of giving like a quick little overview. Maybe you've made an apron before, but you needed a little bit of a refresher. So this one was just a little bit quicker. So I hope that you like this. I hope that you'll make one and give this video a thumbs up if you found this helpful. And I hope that you will consider subscribing to Angela Shows You, because I've got lots of projects coming up, especially things that make great gifts for the upcoming holiday season. See you next time.